Greetings, friends. Brian Frederick Gray here, Director for Justice and Advocacy Ministries at Disciples Home Missions. We have a special edition of Disciples Advocate Digest for you this week, coming off of a glorious biennial session for National Convocation that was hosted in Dallas, Texas. It was a wonderful time filled with worship and workshops, with conversations and connections, with the opportunities to grow in the faith, to share in the faith, and to celebrate the faith. You'll be able to find all of the different videos from National Convocation on their Facebook page. We're going to make sure that we have a tiny URL link right there for you so that you can find those worship services. You can find some of those different sessions, and you'll be able to find a full video of the Rally for Justice that was held on Saturday. That's what we're dedicating the rest of this Disciples Advocate Digest to. Some short video clips that come from the fuller time that we had there at that rally, where we got to hear from 5 folks who are hard at work for justice right there on the ground in Dallas. We got to hear about some of the challenges that are facing Northeast Texas right now and the ways that communities of faith are coming together to make a difference. Plus, we had the opportunity to receive a teaching from Bishop William Barber as a part of that session. And then the Reverend Dr. Delesslyn Kennebrew brought everything home with a blessing and benediction. You're going to find short clips from each piece of that, but if you want to find the entire video of the whole thing, you can find it on National Convocation's Facebook page. We'll have the link for that at the end of this video for you. If you're not following National Convocation on Facebook, what are you doing? Pause this video right now. Go and make sure that you can sign up. Just search National Convocation Disciples of Christ, or we'll make sure we give you a tiny URL for that link too. On that page, you're going to be able to find the monthly Lift Every Voice videos, as well as all of the work that they are amplifying and lifting up from National Convocation. It's a must follow for disciples on social media. But enough about that, friends. What I want you to do right now is be able to sit back and enjoy some of the teachings, some of the blessings, some of the words that we received that was brought to life at the Rally for Justice there at National Convocation. These are some short clips that come from my own video camera from just a couple of rows back at the rally. But if you want to watch the full thing, you can find that too.
Fire, before they spoke in tongues, before there was any of that, there was a decision to come together. Today, our faith has too often been used to divide, exclude, and harm. But Pentecost reminds us that God meets us when we gather across our differences, tell the truth about our wounds, and choose one another anyway. If we're going to heal what has been broken, it begins the same way it did then. All of us together in one place, at one time, on one accord, with one mission.
Faith Out Loud is an invitation for faith to become visible, connected, and most of all, active. When faith moves, hope moves. Amen? When faith moves, people move. When faith moves, communities move, not just our church, right? So some seasons require us to crawl. Amen. We remember when we first came to Christ, right? Some seasons allow us to start walking. Amen. And some seasons challenge us to even run. But there comes a season and there comes a moment when God calls us to leap.
It's a moment, a crisis of character in faith communities where hypocrisy abounds and clergy cave to the powers that be. But we contend that faith transforms us with courageous love. It transforms us to care for those who have been marginalized and excluded. And far too often, and I feel this in my bones in North Texas, faith has become the face of extremism. We believe that faith can be the face of compassion in this community. And so we are an advocate for anybody who has their back against the wall.
Can't turn around. We come this far by faith.
which calls upon us to meet the challenges of our own time with the same determination, the same conviction, the same courage, the same commitment to do the work. Where there's voter suppression, let us organize. Where there's disinformation, misinformation, let us tell the truth. Where communities are neglected, let us serve. Where fear seeks to divide neighbor by neighbor, let us build bonds that cannot be broken. But don't wait for the perfect conditions. Justice never advanced because people waited. It was advanced because people moved.
Started his sermons and ended his sermon with good news to the poor. Luke chapter 4, Matthew 23, Tanya, he said, woe unto those who tithe even their tea leaves, but they leave undone justice. Matthew 25, nations, not individuals. Not individuals, nations will be judged by how you treat the least of these. The hungry, the immigrant, the sick, those in prison, all those on the margin.
We declare that the conclusion of the whole matter is grounded in our faith in God and affirmed by the enduring principles stated in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
What a blessing. What a gift. I hope that you'll follow the link right here to go to National Convocation's page. This is a direct link to the full-length video that they have for that Rally for Justice, where you will get to hear more from each one of those speakers. You'll get to receive the full teaching that came from Bishop Barber, as well as the prayer that the Reverend Dr. Delesslyn Kennebrew closed the session out with. So grateful for all the ways that our faith is being lived in the world, that we are coming together to work for justice, and that we can learn from one another and from our experiences. Looking forward to coming to you next week with another regular edition of Disciples Advocate Digest, where Chris Dorsey and I will be talking about 2, 3, or 4 justice issues and lifting up different ways that you can follow through with each one of those, with resources that will give you the chance to live into the fullness of the promise of our faith. Thanks for everything that you're doing out there, friends. Let us continue to be about sharing the good news and living into the promise of God's justice in our world. May it be so for you, for me, and for all of creation. Amen.